Hello and welcome back to the big 1-5. 5 more episodes away from 20. This is your first amazing host, Ashton, and your second amazing host,
Gavin.
We are extremely equal. Gavin could be the first, I could be the second. It don't matter. But today we have some interesting, more, not really gaming topics. They're more like psychological topics. We have some funny monkey news at a Toronto zoo.
Up in Canada.
Yeah. Supposedly they're telling people at the zoo to not show the gorillas their phones because they get distracted and don't want to hang out with their brothers and be a gorilla, they said. We also have 5 habits of mentally strong people. And then we have this is probably our most out of line topic of this list. We have Reddit removes years of chats and message archives from users and accounts. And then our final one, this is an extremely interesting one. I can't wait until we get to this one because it's just so interesting and to think about. But according to a study, aggression is a result of self-control, not lack thereof.
It basically completely flips the theory of, aggressive people lack self-control on its head.
Yeah. Of course, this is a study by the looks of it, but it's still interesting.
Well, if it's a study that has been publicized, it has had some results proving its theory.
Yeah.
Or at least, maybe not proving, but heavily supporting.
Yeah. Well, you want to find out whether that's true or not, you gotta listen to all of it. So you better listen to all of it.
Please.
If you have time. But
listen to it in the background.
Yeah, while you work, while you drive, while you sleep. We don't care. But starting off with me this time, this is probably a first in podcast history right here, but
yeah.
Me starting off first, we have the Toronto Zoo wants visitors to stop showing a fascinated gorilla their phones so he can just hang out with his brother and be a gorilla.
So, my first expression is that I guess these kinds of primates are already kind of evolving, to understand this kind of technology and be distracted by it.
Yeah, it's at this point I've literally seen memes of monkeys acting like humans so much that they're I've seen comments and stuff where they're monkeys are just refusing to talk so they don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah, imagine a monkey esports league.
That would be amazing. The silverbacks or something like that.
Yeah. I was going to make a statement, but to kind of avoid a whole science versus religious thing, I'm going to, just
diverge.
Say nothing. Yeah, say nothing.
But let's get into the article. Kids are not the only ones who need limited screen time. Gorillas do too. That's according...
they're pretty similar in brain function, so...
Yeah, it's scary how... Once again, it's scary how, gorillas and, monkeys of the sort, at zoos and stuff will, mimic humans, or, there's, videos of, people doing magic tricks in front of, monkeys, and, they're super confused. And literally right here, under this article, there was literally just a video of, a gorilla, shaking their baby. Not, violently shaking, but, what's the term for it?
Rocking?
Yeah, rocking their baby. There was a gorilla literally rocking our baby, mimicking it.
Yeah, I say monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. But back on track. According to a memo by a zoo in Toronto, it's worried about the well-being of its animals. A sign posted outside of the Toronto Zoo gorilla enclosure asks guests to refrain from showing them any videos or photos, as some content can be upsetting and affect their relationship and behavior with their family. What are they showing the gorillas that's making them lash out?
Fortnite clips. or just anything from TikTok. Anything that would melt their brain.
That brings up one more thing that I saw.
What?
There was a TikTok of a gorilla watching TikTok, right? And
Mm.
like the person would be like scrolling, and then like he would like scroll one, and the monkey would watch it, and then the gorilla would like gesture like up, and then like he would like, so he was literally like essentially pseudo scrolling on somebody's phone on TikTok. And it was just like sitting there eating his like his food, just watching the phone.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. Here's some quotes. We just want the gorillas to be gorillas. Holly Ross told CTV News. And when our guests come to the zoo, we want them to be able to see the gorillas in its natural state and what they would be doing naturally to sort of connect with them on that level.
Monkey business.
Well, yeah, most of the time, anyways, most animals are sleeping the whole entire day, so.
Yeah, well, a good majority of them are nocturnal animals, I think.
Yeah, whenever I go to the zoo, there's always one exhibit that has like wolves in it. I think I don't know exactly what like class of wolf they are, I guess you could say, but like
What type?
yeah. I've never seen a single one. Like they're even in their own special area where it's like semi dark. I guess to like provoke them, or not like provoke them, but to encourage them to come out during the day. But you just never see them at all.
They're tired.
Yeah. According to the zoo's website, the gorillas do watch nature documentaries with great interest on occasion. No way. Earlier this year, the zoo installed a donated flat screen TV for one of the gorillas who was recovering from an illness.
Alright, that's kind of cool. I was just gonna say, hey gorilla, you see this shit? This is what the humans are doing to your friends and family.
Oh my god.
Woohoo!
Next, he's gonna be like gesturing for an Xbox controller.
Yo.
He's gonna start. He's gonna start like slide canceling in real life and like trying to pretend to crank 90s with like wood.
No, he's gonna start a Minecraft world.
Oh my god, that reminds me. Do you remember the stuff that Elon, not exactly Elon Musk, but one of his companies did with like the monkey playing the video game with his brain?
I think so.
Like, so what they did is they had the gorilla, I think it was play Pong. Or not gorilla, it was like just a monkey. They had the monkey play Pong, right? And he had a joystick in front of him and he had stuff attached to his head. And what they did is the monkey was playing with the controller at first, like looking where it is. And then every single time that he gets a point, like a tube in front of him like shoots out like food for him to eat. And then eventually what they did is they disconnected the controller and the monkey was playing with its head. Like they had like neuron pads or whatever I guess you'd want to call it. Like the monkey had a little chip inside of his head that was reading like the coordination movements of him moving the controller without him actually like, he was still moving the controller to him, but he didn't know that it was disconnected.
That's interesting.
But it's just like such a cool like fascination with like technology, I guess, that tied into monkeys.
Sounds like early stages in like some kind of mental stimulation to reality stimulation or something like that, like tech.
Well, I think the whole purpose behind it is they were trying to help people that have lost limbs and stuff like that.
Yeah, play games.
Well, not just to play games, but just like to gain functionality in arms that they like couldn't control before.
Yeah.
People that have like bad arms or like no nerves in them and like movement, or like people that just have robotic arms.
Yeah, people that's undergoing amputations.
Yeah. Just like easier control on them. More freedom, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
Another gorilla named Nasser is the epitome of a teenager fascinated by videos, according to the website. The zoo's the zoo's site said if the 13-year-old gorilla had his way, screen time would dominate his life. Jesus. Well, I guess it kind of shows like how attached to technology we are.
Yep. If a primate with like less than like 10% of our brain function can understand it,
And become a hook to it.
Some tells me the only thing else I could get to is like either food or like cocaine, and like anything above that.
Yeah. Wow, is this really the end of the article?
Looks like it.
We got one more quote here. We don't really want our guests coming in and showing them videos. We would rather have them see them do gorilla things. Ross told CTV Nassar in particular was really interested in seeing different videos. I think mostly he was seeing videos of other animals, but I think it's really important that he's able to just hang out with his brother and be a gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, from the gorilla's perspective, he's just chilling in his, like, his little gorilla den, right?
Doing gorilla things.
And then all of a sudden, somebody just hands a device to him that's, like the size of, like, his food or, like, his hand, right? And then he just sees a different dimension. Like, from that gorilla, that's literally just, like, that's, like, mind-boggling.
It's interdimensional travel for a monkey.
That's, like, yeah. I don't remember where I saw it, but I saw this thing where, like, it may have been a podcast. I don't know exactly which one. But I guess you're going to hear it on here, too. Yeah, maybe. But it was, like, imagine what you could do if, like, you tricked a tribe that, like, their friends were stuck in, like, a box. And then you had, like, a video of them, like, asking for help inside of your phone screen. Like, they would be so, like, confused. Like, they'd think that you're a god or something because they had no concept of what it is.
Yep.
Like, it's just really fascinating at the same time, like, kind of scary to see that, like, it shows how, like, dependent and, like, fascinating technology is, and at the same time seeing, like, the bad sides of it.
Yeah, there's always risk to kind of this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're done with this topic.
It is it too. So now on to our next topic: 5 habits of mentally strong people. All right, real quick before we dive into this, what kind of habits do we think are on this list?
Ugh. I know some that, like, I know some habits of, like, smart people, but I don't know about mentally strong people.
Remember, smart and mentally strong don't exactly always go hand in hand.
I know, that's why I was gonna say, like, dark humor, but of course that's, like, a habit of smart people, not a habit of mentally strong people.
Well, dark humor isn't really a habit either. That's more of a preference.
Well, yeah.
So, dark humor will be a preference of smart people, which means I must be pretty smart because I love dark humor.
Okay, for context that people don't know, Gavin and I found something. I don't remember where, but it was like a study like this where it was basically saying that dark humor is commonly found in dark humor is more commonly found in smarter people.
Yep. So basically, if you like dark humor, then there's a chance that you might have a higher base IQ than your average schmuck.
Yeah, but if you think that you're smarter than everyone, then you're probably dumber than everyone because you can be so stupid that you think that you're smarter than people.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to win an argument against a dumb person because they're so stupid they're convinced that they're right.
Or they're so dumb that they think that they're so smart that they can, like, try to rob a bank with a cloak on that they think they're invisible.
Yeah.
That is an actual case. Look it up.
Oh boy.
Okay, back on track.
Yeah.
I don't
Let's see.
know.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna say at least like one like like a healthy sleep schedule. I mean that probably makes sense.
Well, I guess then, like, time management skills.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
Like, they're good at, like, working out, like, how long it takes them to do stuff and, like, putting aside time for themselves and everything.
Maybe the ability to analyze risks.
Ooh, I have another one.
What?
The ability to withstand, like, temptations, like, maybe, like, an addiction or, like,
Just other temptations.
like, to like, slack off, Like, they're good at staying on track.
So already moral fiber, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, let's just see. The importance of mental fortitude is The journey toward personal and professional achievement cannot be understated. It operates like a silent pillar, bolstering our resilience, shaping our decisions, and propelling us through life's various challenges and opportunities. Comparable to the stamina needed for physical exertion, cultivating mental strength isn't automatic. Instead, it's demand regular exercise and mindful practice, as if it's training for an intellectual marathon. That reminds me of a old quote I remember hearing,
Hmm.
and that is, the brain acts a lot like a muscle. If you don't use it, it's gonna degrade.
Yeah. I guess that kind of
Which,
makes sense.
with how kids are nowadays, it's easy to see how.
Yeah. It's always good to like train your brain, or not like train your brain, but like try to challenge yourself. Like if it's like memorizing something or like,
Trying to logic something out.
yeah,
Well, that's why people in the law area of expertise for whatever job they do, oftentimes very smart people.
yeah,
Anyway, individuals endowed with mental strength can effectively harness their mental energies to weave an impenetrable fabric of resilience and rarely confronts adversity without surrendering to its familial presence. Alright, this sounds like a
shit.
more.
Big boy words. Jesus.
This sounds a little stretched to say, but let's go with it anyway. Their mental agility, hardened by experience and deliberate learning mindset, transform situations into a teacher and every experience into a lesson. I'm not so sure if that's on the list yet, but okay, whatever.
Hmm.
Uh, Incorporating certain habits in one's daily life is instrumental to successfully fostering this mental resilience and adaptive learning capacity. These habits serve as a toolbox for mental fortitude, to gradually shape mind, enabling it to withstand and learn from many life's and intricacies and challenges. Okay, so number one, cultivating self awareness.
Hmm.
I'd say that makes sense. You get to be very self aware of who you are, your surroundings, like, I guess what other people think to be a mentally strong person.
Yeah, I guess be aware of, I don't know, your actions maybe, like be aware of what your actions may cause to other people.
It makes have consequences. That's why, like, a lot of the dumber people oftentimes have these traits of, like, pompous attitude, very arrogant in, like, how they act, which I guess could probably, like, go hand in hand with the pompous attitude thing. Yeah, or just something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Self-awareness forms the cornerstone of mental strength. It equates to knowing yourself, understanding your feelings, motives, responses, and actions. More importantly, it involves understanding how these aspects impacts others around you. Yep, that's about
Mm-hmm.
right. Mentally strong people reflect regularly. Take time out of their hustle and bustle of life to meditate, journal, or sit quietly. Practice offers opportunity to analyze past actions, learn from successes, failures, to gain insights on how they might improve. As a result, they make decisions more confidently, understand their emotional triggers, and manage their reactions effectively. Huh, that's interesting. I mean, it makes sense because self awareness. As the article states, it goes really well with the kind of stuff.
Yeah. I kind of do that at work.
I did kind of do that, like, I guess whenever I'm just doing nothing or I'm out on a walk.
Yeah. Like good times where you don't have to like think about doing something. I know at
Yeah,
work it's not really the best time to do it, but basically if you work a bunch, you understand that eventually you go into autopilot and then you just do everything automatically.
yeah. I was actually just kind of about to ask them to do the exact same thing for the rest of these. How well do you practice this kind of stuff? And, I guess I just got my answer, so.
Yeah, I mean, the first one, we can kind of do that. We can see like how much of these we do. Would you I mean, you'd say that you do the first one then too?
I think I do it well enough. Like, I'm constantly thinking about the past that I've done or have happened in adjacent to things I might have done.
Yeah, so
I
kind of
guess I
like
guess
learning about past
yeah,
and learning to improve it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the statement I just made kind of, you know, doesn't really mean much because and whatever people that are smart will understand like the kind of pointlessness of my second statement of adjacent to my decisions. And whatever.
No, we're the smartest people here. This is just to like cure our egos, Gavin.
Oh yeah, totally.
But yeah, I say I do the first one.
Yeah, I
But
think I do it pretty well.
yeah, I'm do the
And
second one.
embracing change, the power of adaptability. Change remains a constant in life. This is very true.
Mm-hmm.
People who adapt readily to new circumstances demonstrate higher mental strength. They view change as not a threat but an opportunity to growth. Mentally strong individuals accept the inevitability of change to prepare themselves for it. They remain flexible in their plans and expectations, allowing them to respond quickly when unforeseen circumstances occur. Instead of resisting new situations, they invest their energy in understanding the implications and identifying new ways to move forward. Huh.
Ugh.
Well,
I guess I'll go first on this one if you have to think.
yeah, I definitely kind of have to think.
Um, I don't really know how I do on this one, cause like I'd say I'm about 50-50 on this one. Probably like on the edge of saying no. Probably for me, I guess,
Yeah,
because just I like the way things are. Like if something major were to happen, I would probably be disappointed about it. Try
yeah,
to avoid it, like this was saying, like the opposite of that. I guess if it was
yeah,
such a big major change, I just wouldn't be down for it.
yeah. I'm in definitely in the same boat. I guess as a good example, after my parents announced their divorce, like literally for like the past few years, my entire like defense mechanism is just pretending it never really happened. Like I
Oof.
know it happened, just I never really confronted it. You know. Now the house is currently in the process of being sold. Tomorrow we have an open house
Oh.
because people aren't really making any offers from just the pictures posted online. Yep, it's finally starting to catch up with me.
Well, then you gotta practice the first one, Gavin. Meditate on
What?
it.
Trust me, I've meditated, and I want to say I've accepted it. Like I guess finally after all this time, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if this is exactly a healthy way to do things, but sometimes instead of confronting things, maybe it's just okay to just drop things dead and kind of just walk away. That's kind of what I'm kind of doing. But like I said, I don't know if that's the healthy way to do things.
Well, if it's not healthy, I definitely do that too. So
We can only see.
just I do
Okay,
it at a
so
way smaller scale,
yeah,
like math work.
sounds about right. So let's see. Right now we're 1 for 2 in terms of embracing, or in terms of the 5 habits. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay. Oh, I definitely have this one like to a T.
Huh. I think I might have this one. I just might have to think about it a
Well,
little.
I guess mine
Pers-
mine is more spite than this, but
well, persistence, and persistence is the art of resilience and perseverance. Mental strength and persistence go hand in hand. Life presents many challenges, but mentally strong people do not let setbacks deter them. They persevere, focusing on their goals and continuing to progress, however slow. In situations where others may give up, mentally strong individuals push forward, understand setbacks and failures from part in the journey, and serve as vital learning opportunities. They maintain an unwavering belief in their capabilities, which fuels their determination to succeed.
yeah, I
Huh.
think I think I'm a definite yes on this one.
Uh, I don't know. For me, it's kind of like a 50-50 kind of thing. Where if I know it's no harm, no foul to like back up something, like, I don't really want to do this. I'm not making any real progress. No, I probably will. But if I know that something bad will happen if I just kind of leave something half done, then I'll just kind of do my best to keep going, like no matter the challenge.
Yeah, the way the way I see this, like for persistence, is just like a perfect example of like good persistence is like you're stuck in like traffic or something like that.
Hmm.
You know, you're stuck in traffic, you just gotta wait. You can't do anything. You know, your goal is to get home, but your determination is making you being able to wait and be patient.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good example of it, maybe.
Yeah. Well, patience is a virtue.
Yep. Persistence, or I already forgot the word I was using.
Spite.
Yep, spite. Spite is a crutch. I guess this is a
Maybe.
learning about Ashton and Gavin episode too.
Yeah. Maybe I should take a hint about spite. Get some of that in my system, so whenever I'm told to back down from an argument, I won't do so as easily unless I know I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's the one time spite can kind of be a pain.
Huh.
But if somebody's like, "Man, you ain't gonna do that," I'll be like, "Nah, fuck you. I'm gonna do it just to spite you."
Yeah. Sometimes that's just stubbornness of a situation.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Maintaining a positive outlook. Oh boy. A positive outlook forms from either other essential habits of mentally strong individuals. Positivity is not about ignoring the difficulties of life. Instead, it involves acknowledging and focusing on the bright side of situations. Mentally strong people cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Yeah, that rhymes. The focus on their lives. The focus on the good in their lives, which boosts their mood, enhances their energy levels, reduce stress. This outlook empowers them to see opportunities where others might see obstacles, driving them towards their goal. I'm gonna let you go first on this one again because I have to really think about.
I gotta think about this too.
Okay.
Um,
Uh,
then I'm probably just gonna go with another 50-50 here. I'm gonna no, we get half points for 50-50s.
okay.
So we're up to like 2 for 3 right now, right? 2 for 4.
Uh, yeah, I think 2 for 4.
Okay, so maintaining a positive outlook. I mean, like, I guess a good example for me is like the podcast. You know, it may not be doing good some weeks, but I guess, you know, there's always the optimism that if we are persistent enough. I love how all these like combine together without even like me trying to combine all the traits together.
I mean, these are supposedly. I mean, I would say supposedly, but the evidence shows it is. You know, this won't be just spouting nonsense for the sake of nonsense. This is like scientific proof of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's
But
see.
I got off track there.
It's all right.
But oh yeah, like persistence of like knowing that at the end my optimism is still extremely high for hoping that like if we keep our persistence up and all of that, then eventually the optimism will be worth the wait.
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh.
What are
I
you
guess
on it?
that's. I guess this can be more of a long-winded explanation. So, in terms of like the whole glass half full, glass half empty kind of thing, I kind of teeter between both. Like in terms of like optimist versus pessimist spectrum.
There has to be
Where
like, sorry, I gotta interrupt here quickly about that. There has
yeah
to be like a good healthy in between them though. You don't want to always be positive.
yeah
You gotta
like
have some like negative thought behind it too.
yeah. I mean, I guess as a bit of a side note, my least favorite character archetype in literally anything is the person that's so overly optimistic, like that it almost seems like a crime.
Yeah, all like in the shows and stuff where like there's that one person that's like, it can't get any worse than this, and then it gets
Yeah,
worse.
yeah, or like they're like overly polite for like no real reason.
Yeah.
Like it really grinds my gears that someone could be so naive like in life that they can't really like really hit them that things can't get worse. But I know. Anyway, So I guess whenever I'm on the glass half empty spectrum, I kind of try to look on the bright side in a lot of situations. But whenever I'm on the glass half full side, I always try to, you know, understand that, things could be better.
Yeah, they're good, but they're not the best, I guess, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, or basically, it could be better, could be worse.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. And also going back to the perseverance one up top, I completely forgot about this, but in one of my art classes, well, in my ceramics class that I took last year, I made a little like kind of medallion thing, and I engraved on it, "My chosen torture makes me stronger," which is the like one of the first lines from the credits theme from Devil May Cry 3, "Devils Never Cry."
Hmm.
And every time I'm having a bit of a hard time, I kind of just look at that and realize, this might be painful, but I can do this.
Yeah, it's good motivation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you were saying, like it can build character.
All right, let's see. The importance of self care. Finally, okay, so this is
Wait,
the last
hold on.
ones.
Backtrack real quick. 50-50 on that one?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna say 50-50.
Okay. I just had to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Finally, no discussion on mental strength is complete without touching on
Wait,
self
you
care.
gotta say the thing.
The importance of self care and mental strength. Let's see. Finally, I already wrote that. Mentally strong individuals understand their mental and physical health are intertwined, which is very true. They understand the importance of regular exercise, a balanced diet, adequate sleep, and restful leisure activities. Self care extends to setting boundaries in relationships and responsibilities, ensuring that they do not overextend themselves. Involves regularly checking themselves, managing stress levels, and seeking support when needed.
Um, I'd say now I'm like 75% on track with this.
Uh, I'd probably say so too. I've mentioned that I go on walks every day. Like they're not exactly long, but something. Uh, restful leisure activities. Gaming is my main hobby.
Yeah.
And I tends to relax me quite a bit. By adequate sleep and balanced diet, and that's where things kind of go pear shaped.
Yeah. If you were seeing what time we're recording this and you were like our mother or something, you'd be disappointed.
Yeah, definitely. Well, first, a balanced diet. It's hard to eat well when you're poor. Adequate sleep. I'm a dude that likes to stay up all night playing games or doing something of the sort. So much so that I've actually contracted insomnia.
Yep. And like a year from now, you're gonna look back on this and you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, I've totally forgot about that. I'm so stupid."
It depends how long my insomnia lasts. I did some digging, and it can either last from up to months to years.
Hmm.
Eh, it can only time only tell.
Yeah. But I do most of these decently well. I guess more recently, balanced diet. I have been, my opinion, eating healthier, like cutting out. Right as of now, I'm like 12 days, I think, no caffeine at all. Like, or I guess no. What I mean by no caffeine is not consuming any like beverages or like pops or energy drinks, but like medicine that has caffeine is still on the table. But
So basically, like no like unmedicinal caffeine sources.
yeah, because I another thing with like importance of self care with this is I would have like really bad crashes like during the day because I'd have so much caffeine.
Yeah.
You know what's bad when like you down an energy drink and then you can just fall asleep after having it. Like
Yeah.
that's like I would get like upset stomachs and like stomach pains from it, and I was like, okay, I need to do something about this.
Yeah. I can definitely get that. I think definitely in the same boat as you. Like, I can definitely cut down on some things, but I have been eating better. Like I want to say, Um, like I have been trying new things. I guess as a bit of a fun fact about me, I've been a picky eater for most of my life, and I've
Oh,
slowly started kicking that habit. But it's still a
nice.
challenging thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Like I guess as a good example, I've been eating quite a bit of seafood lately, and seafood's
Mm.
pretty good for you.
What have you been eating as seafood?
Um, like the stuff I eat is like salmon and like tuna, shrimp,
Hmm.
um, tilapia. Camp. I think some cod too. Like some of the more common like fish fillets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That won't send the bank account into negative numbers.
Okay, this is gonna sound kind of braggadocious, I think is the word for this, but the only like seafood that I really like is like crab and lobster.
Crab is and lobster is so good.
Yeah, like especially if you have like butter
Mm-hmm.
with it too. Mmm. I think for one of my birthdays we went to like a crab shack or whatever.
Last year, for my birthday, me and my family went out to get some seafood.
Nice.
Yeah, some good shit.
Yeah. There's a lot
Let's
of
see.
there's some good shit and there's a lot of weird shit in the ocean too.
Let's see. I've had scallops. Either I think there were oysters that I had. Those were good
I haven't really
because,
dived I haven't really dived into seafood really.
but I'm tish. I remember this is one time a long time ago where me and my family went to like a big buffet, and I was like just kind of picking up like all the pieces of sushi that I could find that I know I haven't tried before. And I picked up one that I didn't really notice right away, and it was like either a squid or octopus tentacle. I saw it, saw this section, kind of was like, all right, maybe not this one.
uh Speaking of like weird foods and stuff, when I was younger one time my grandma tricked me. So we were at like some random like basically like semi dead end bar, right?
Hmm.
I've told you the story before, but I'm gonna repeat it for the podcast. Um, she like ordered something and I didn't know what she ordered. And she's like, "You're gonna try it," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then like they put it on the table and it was like looked like chicken nuggets, like microwave chicken nuggets, right?
Hmm.
After I took a bite out of it, I was like, "This tastes gross." Like it honestly tasted like mud. Like
What was it?
it was frog. It wasn't chicken. She said it was chicken, but it was literally like frog.
Hmm.
How do you
Well,
get meat out of a frog and put in like freezer chicken nuggets looking things?
that must be a big frog. Love meat on them tiny bones.
Yeah, I was about to reference the state of where it was from, but that would kind of give away personal information. So
Yeah, i.e., where we live.
yeah, close. A little
Yeah.
bit to the right.
All right. I think that's enough for this topic. But yes, real quick, what would be our final score? Like, what do we think our final score
Okay,
is on this?
let's do the run through real quick. So the first one we
We
agreed on, right? Self awareness.
yeah, we got full. We did 50-50 on the second one, embracing change.
So 1.5 out of 5 so far.
Persistence,
Persistence.
50-50 for me, and I think you went like full one, right?
Yeah, I probably want like full 200% or something like that.
All right.
Um,
Well, so
so
you
let's
have two
just
and a
cut it in
half. I have
between.
I have two.
So what is that, like 1.75? And then maintaining positive outlook.
I
That
did
was like,
50-50.
yeah. So I'd say like we're a solid like 3.
Yeah, 3 out of 5, which it's more than half, so that's something, right?
I guess we have some traits of mentally strong people
Yeah, there's a lot we can work on, but that's for another time.
for the rest of our lives.
Yep, however long that may be.
Mm-hmm.
And
20,
now onto something completely
20,000
different.
years. Yep, but
I
this
hope
is
so.
this is our like only semi gaming related topic this whole entire podcast episode. But that
Yeah.
is Reddit removes years of chat and message archives from users' accounts.
People that don't know what Reddit is, by some strange miracle, it's basically a website where like a bunch of it's basically a forum site that hit mainstream.
Mm-hmm. It's basically what you see when you look up anything on Google. It's usually the first thing that pops up is a Reddit person asking that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Reddit blackout protest did not quite force the company to reverse the course of its API changes that resulted in the shutdown of many popular third-party apps, but it did succeed in dominating the conversation around the platform for weeks. So, the few that also don't know about what happened recently on Reddit is Reddit started charging a bunch of so there's this thing called API. An API basically is like all of the data on Reddit. So like whenever you click on somebody's profile, that is like an API like string or like data count, I guess you could call it. And every single time you click on a profile, that's another data count, right? And
Uh-huh.
every single time you look at like a post, that is also a bunch of data counts because each like and like upvote and like downvote is all classified as like an API. So there were third-party apps that were basically taking the API of Reddit and making it into their own platform, but it's still Reddit. So it was basically like instead of using Reddit, which is like the mainline game, it's instead using an emulator that basically copies it but could make it better. I guess is
Yeah.
the best way to describe it.
What I remember hearing about is like basically just like the ability to put in like bots and like some like other things.
Yeah, just to have bots like sift through things and like it's basically just most people that use Reddit don't even use the official Reddit app on their phones. Like they use like for example, there's one called Apollo, which I'm pretty sure was the one that was targeted the most. But
Yeah, probably.
basically it just is ease of access, easier than the actual app. And the Reddit company started charging more for their API data streams or like strings. So every single time that they get API out of it, it like costs the company a certain amount of like money to be able to get those. So what happened is they increased the price of them, so then the companies have to like give more money like to get the information out of Reddit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first off, I guess like the in terms of like you said charging more, technically they just start charging period. And second off, they start charging like crazy amounts of cash. Like I think it was up to like $100,000 like a year, like for like some. Like, it was crazy how much they like started charging.
You mean for like the third party apps?
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about like I think Reddit made their API cost more, or like they did changes to the platform that caused like people to like protest about it.
Oh well, it happened to like what like 3 weeks ago. So
Oh yeah, and the dumbest thing about it is during the protest they said when the protest was gonna end.
yep, 2 days.
Yeah, it was a literal 2 day protest. They're like, we're gonna protest because Reddit's doing wrong, but it's only gonna be 2 days, and then after 2 days are done, we're gonna be back. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the funniest thing about it all is the people that refuse to come back after 2 days. Reddit said themselves that they're just gonna remove the moderators of the Reddit and then just like hire people, like recruit new people to run this like the Reddit channels, Reddit
That's,
soaps.
that's the thing about playing a game with the devil. He can play the long game. You can't.
Yeah, there's like no way that like the people could win in this Reddit war.
Yeah, unless they A didn't announce it and B, really went hard on this protest. Like I'm talking like even now it would be shut down basically completely.
Mm-hmm. Back to the main topic of the article. Um, Over the past few weeks, many Redditors have reported the disappearance of their private chat logs and messages shared between other Reddit users over the years. Mashable also noticed the same on two reporters' personal accounts. Messages and live chats from before 2023 are no longer accessible by the user. Here's a quote. I lost every single one of my chats. 7 years of history I was saving. Posted one Redditor. I just discovered this and I am devastated. I've lost contacts with Redditors I wanted to save. A ton of research sent back and forth. Information that still isn't available anywhere publicly.
Huh.
Well,
Damn.
I guess that was a good sign for them. And in the future, they're probably going to take a lot of screenshots and back up everything.
Yeah.
It's always good, no matter what. That's why. Oh my god, I'm about to extremely hard tangent here, but that's why it's always better to have physical copies over digital copies of anything.
I mean, yeah. The thing is that perhaps some of the stuff you couldn't even get physical copies for. I mean, unless you mean printing them out, but that can have
Well,
its own set of problems.
what I mean by that is, like, it can still be digital and is still there's still ways to save digital over, like, for example, if a game company removed a game off their platform, the only way you'd be able to have it really is if you have it, like, on disk, right? But, like,
Yeah.
websites and stuff, like, the person, like, all the research that they were trying to save and everything, they could just take screenshots and videos of it, or, like, just, like, copy and paste all the text onto a different document. But I mean, if they didn't even see it coming and they've had 7 years of history, that kind of sucks. Like, no
Uh
warning
huh.
at all. That's like you had like 7 years of, like, talking to a friend, and then all of a sudden one day they just, like, disappear out of nowhere.
Off the face of the earth.
Like, then all of that history between them is just gone out of nowhere. Like, it's kind of a jerk move for them to do this. But I guess it just teaches everyone that they should be backing up at, like, most of their stuff as possible.
Yeah.
Even, like, podcast stuff like this, I literally have, like, flash drives that I'll store everything on just to make sure I always have it.
Wise idea.
Yeah. Um
Let's see.
Look at this quote, it's so sad. I met my wife on Reddit. Disappointing, we lost our first messages. Another user posted.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's funny that they met the love of their life, on Reddit, but it's sad that they can't really look back at their first messages and reminisce on the good old days or whatever.
Yeah. Mashable confirmed with Reddit that messages and chat history are no longer available if they were made prior to January 1st, 2023. A Reddit spokesperson forwarded Mashable a changelog announcement made June 22nd when the company shared that these messages would be removed. Yes, they probably had it, like, hidden in some, like, terms of service or something.
Yeah, probably.
They're probably like, we warned you guys 6 months ago and you didn't listen. Well, they should probably, like, put it on their actual, like, on people's actual timelines, not put in, like, terms of service if they did that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. This is where they said they made the announcement. In our continued pursuit of empowering communities, we are transitioning to a new chat infrastructure, reads a changelog notice. In the effort to make a smooth and quick transition to this new infrastructure, we will migrate chat messages from January 1st, 2023 onward. This change will be effective starting June 30th.
So this was like 16 days ago, roughly.
I guess people didn't really make that much of a notice about it, or, like, they didn't do hard enough to push it to everyone to actually see it.
Yeah, seems like it.
Okay. It appears that many Redditors missed. Yep. It appears that many Redditors missed the notice, which appears after two other feature announcements, at least 10 paragraphs in the changelog post. The notice doesn't explicitly say that messages from before 2023 will be removed. In addition, some Redditors have shared that their messages and chats disappeared from their accounts days before June 30th date. Here's a quote. I'm upset at the way Reddit chose to do this, and that I didn't get any messages from Reddit warning users about this, one Redditor wrote on the platform. In response to feedback in one post, a Reddit admin explained that Reddit was immigrating legacy chats to the new platforms, and unfortunately only data from 2023 is replicated. So they were gonna be... They're calling it legacy chats as their old chats.
Yeah. Well, there's a thing says only the data for 2023 posts are replicated. So everything for that is just kind of dust to dust.
This is... The rest of it's just, like, people getting angry about it and how to potentially recover missing Reddit messages, which we really don't need to get into.
Yeah.
If you want to learn how to recover them, then you can look it up yourself.
Yep.
But our long-awaited final topic. I've been thinking about this like all episode. I want to get into this. I'm so curious about it. Gavin, take it away.
And for the piece de resistance, aggression is a result of self-control, not lack thereof. Summary. A new study contests the belief that aggression stems from poor self-control. Instead, it suggests that aggression is often deliberate, controlled act, inflicted to maximize retribution. I mean, it sounds about right if they put it like that. I mean, people can be have real big bouts of focused anger, and oftentimes like in TV and movies, that's kind of the crux of it. You know, if a character wants revenge, they're not doing it like half-mindedly. They're like laser focused on that.
Like meditated revenge.
I mean, look at John Wick. The entirety of those movies is just that man getting revenge for something that happened to him.
Yeah.
I still gotta watch those movies.
Another thing that this kind of brings to mind is like, it shows that anger, like if it was in some cases there probably it is like this, but if there was no lack of self-control, then that means that anger would literally cause you to lash out at everyone. Whereas like John Wick in your example, like he's only aggressed towards a certain people.
Yeah.
So it shows that it is lack of self-control, just his anger is controlled at like a certain group of people.
Actually, I think I might have a way to put this. Like, think of it as like a kind of like a funnel, like pouring water. You just pour water like anywhere. It's very like unfocused, and that's what kind of like what unfocused rage is, where they kind of, go to cause kind of as much havoc as possible, so to speak, like without really having one like point of aggression. Meanwhile, like focused rage, it's like using a funnel, like dumping water into a funnel, and it more accurately will pinpoint onto what makes you angry,
whatever you're trying to target it.
Yeah, exactly, and make that aggression more stable, or I guess in terms of this article speaking, controlled. This finding, based on a meta-analysis of multiple psychology and neurology studies, self-control contradicts the traditional approach of treating violent tendency by boosting self-control, and implies that such interventions may even enable people to better exude their aggressive instincts. Key facts. Number 1. Aggression does not necessarily arise from poor self-control. Instead, it can be calculated active retribution, acquiring self-disciplinary action to carry out effectively. Number 2. Evidence suggests that self-control training programs do not necessarily reduce violent tendencies. Number 3. Research indicates that the brain's prefrontal cortex, the control center of the self, shows increased activity during aggression, further debunking the association between poor self-control and aggression. Source: Virginia Commonwealth University.
So, what that's saying is the prefrontal cortex is that thing that like adults and like people always say like isn't fully developed until you're 25, right?
Well, it's like 18 for girls, like 32 for like dudes. Let's see. The new paper, Aggression as Successful Self-Control, by corresponding author David Chester, PhD, and an associate professor of social psychology and Department of Psychology at VCU's College of Humanities and Sciences, was published by the journal Social and Personality Psychology Compass, and uses meta-analysis to summarize evidence from dozens of existing studies in psychology and neurology. This is a quote by Mr. Chester. Typically, people explain violence as a product of poor self-control, Chester said. In the heat of the moment, we often fail to inhibit our worse, more aggressive impulses, but that's only one side of the story. That's interesting. Let's see. Indeed, Chester's study has found the most aggressive people do not have personalities characterized by poor self-discipline, and that training programs to boost self-confidence have not proved effective in reducing violent tendencies. Instead, a study have found ample evidence that aggression can arise from successful self-control.
Well, I guess with your self-control, then you like realize when you can be angry.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but
Or like without self-control, you randomly get angry. So like you basically, it's basically like it's basically like original Hulk. Whenever he gets angry, he just like turns immediately. But then in like newer forms of Hulk, like he's managed his anger more. So like he chooses when he gets angry. That's a really good example of this.
I suppose.
Because isn't that how it works with
I think
Hulk?
so. Oh no, like in the comics and movies, it's not never really like stuff like details like that always get swapped around, changed, pretended never happened, stuff like that.
I guess.
And this goes on for quite a while too.
Yeah, we can read a couple.
Vengeful people tend to exhibit greater premeditation of their behavior and self-control, enabling them to delay the gratification of sweet revenge and bide their time to inflict maximum retribution upon those they believe had wronged them. Chester said, even psychopathic people who compromise the majority of people who commit violent offenses often exhibit robust development of inhibitory self-control over their teenage years. Wow.
I just love that they use the word retribution. Like the way that they're using it is just really funny.
You think retribution, you think of, the kid that gets bullied finally, like, standing up for himself. But no, in this case, it's like, psychopaths, depending, like, choosing when or when not to be, psycho.
To achieve their maximum retribution.
That explains a lot about my sister.
Damn.
She ain't listened to this.
She ain't
I
gonna
hope.
be listening this far.
No, we can't hype this up. For legal reasons, this is a joke.
Yep.
Anyway, aggressive behavior is reliably linked to increase, not decrease, in activity with the brain's prefrontal cortex, a biological substrate of self-control. Chester found the finding makes it clear that the argument that aggression is primarily the project of poor self-control is weaker than previously thought. Well, I guess now that I can think about it, this can very much go like both ways because there's always gonna be like the whole drunk dad thing. Beats his kid, beats his wife. Yada yada yada. Drinking obviously heavily decreases the self control like center of the prefrontal cortex.
Well, it just makes you think less, which I mean causes the uncontrollable rage compared to the self-controlled rage.
Yeah. So, I think what it is that your self-control has to be so like piss poor that not even God can help you. But it can also go the other way around where it could be so good that you're able to line up these shots basically to like perfectly take your revenge, like if you manage to plan it all out, which may or may not be very sadistic depending on how you get your revenge.
Yeah.
Let's push ahead a little. Let's see. This will be the last little bit. Over the years, much of our research is guided to the field assumption that aggression is an impulse behavior characterized by poor self-control. Well, I actually kind of been thinking about it. Most of the kids in our class, they're not aggressive, but they do indeed have poor self-control. I also think that self-control might also be heavily related to intellect. People with better self-control oftentimes are more intelligent.
Maybe.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway, but we started to investigate psychological characteristics of vengeful and psychopathic people. We quickly realized that such aggressive individuals do not have regular self-control deficits. They have many psychological adaptations and skills that enable them to hurt others by using self-control. Well, apparently,
all this aggression is like there's different ways you can use your aggression besides just like hurting others. You could just use your aggression to like yell.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I
Like
mean, I guess as an example that kind of hit me, um, Ted Bundy. Like, apparently he's a very intelligent man from what I've heard. Like, in his trial, like the people that are prosecuting him, or like the judge or someone's, because he's defending himself, and they said that he could have became a lawyer because that's how well he was apparently doing.
speaking of,
And
once you're done with yours, I have another crime related thing
yeah,
about that.
yeah, and lawyers like, or just people in law in general, they have to show a lot of self control to not freak out during court, to not say something that could
Keep their
get them,
cool.
yeah, to get themselves in like hot water, or their client in hot water, or if they're prosecution, make their completely like break their case to the ground due to like their how they act.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's kind of scary that some like real psychos are really good at controlling themselves.
Yeah. Do you want to hear
Uh,
mine?
yeah.
This one's a good one. This isn't. This is about a psychopath dying. Okay,
All
so
right.
have you ever heard of the case? So, the case, I don't know their names. I wish I knew their names. It's iconic. You've probably seen the video of it too. There's a video of it happen because it happened live on the news.
Uh
So
huh.
this guy got charged, and what he got charged for is assaulting a child sexually, and
Pedophilia.
yeah, as he was walking out of court, the daughter's dad was at a phone booth, and what he did
Walk
was
walk down, shot him.
no, it's even he shot him, but it's even better than that. So the father, there's even also a really good ending to the story. So as the guy was walking out, like the police car, all the cameras are like following him and like asking him questions like they normally do.
Mm-hmm.
The father was pretending to be on the phone, and as soon as the guy walked by, that like did all that messed up stuff, he turns around and hip fires him from like, I don't know, it was a reasonable distance away, and
Like,
like hits him right in the head, and he's dead.
damn,
And do you want to know the good thing, like the really funny thing about it?
he didn't get charged.
He didn't get charged at all. The judge said that, or like his defense was that he was blinded by rage, that he like didn't know. He said that he didn't know what was right, like what was the difference between right or wrong.
In that single
Like,
playing time.
and that's a perfect example that he wasn't going to take his rage out on everyone else. Like, as soon as he shot him, he immediately like he didn't
Put
fight
down
back
the
with the police that tackled him. He
yeah.
didn't like get aggressive towards them. He sent his rage out at the person that he was like raged at,
Hmm.
which I guess is perfect for that maximum retribution.
Uh-huh.
But there's literally like I'm pretty sure there is an actual news feed of it happening, but if you go online and look it up, it's only going to be the feed of like literally the last second before it's the next frame of him getting shot in the head. But like, oh fuck, I want to know the name. I want to know the name, but I don't. I can't really
Eh,
like look it up fast.
yeah, I can look it up later.
But there's like shirts of it and everything. There's like shirts like to kill a child predator or something like that, and then it's like the iconic like it's like a cartoon sketch drawing of it and all that. But I guess that's a
Damn.
perfect that is a really perfect example of aggression being a lack of self-control and not a lack thereof self-control.
Well, do you mean a result of self control? You said accidentally said lack.
Well, I said not a lack of there.
Oh, okay.
But I guess I've never thought of like it like that. That like aggression could be a result of self-control. You're always
Hmm.
told the other way around that like people are blinded by rage.
Yeah. And it just goes to show sometimes the people that seem to have it the most put together are just a firecracker waiting to go off.
Yeah. But I guess there's also cases where this is completely like the study is completely wrong.
Yeah. That's why I say it's a 50-50 thing. It really just kind of depends.
Yeah.
Because, there's the whole, crime of passion thing, and you just said, like, sometimes they could be found innocent by not knowing the difference between right and wrong at that moment.
Yeah.
So, like, like you said, this seems very, like, reasonable, but, you know, not always the case.
Mm-hmm. Brain stuff is always like psychology is always such a wide like variety of what could be happening and like what
Well,
couldn't be happening in different like variables.
uh, well, the brain is a very complex organism, like in really any body. I mean, obviously, especially the human, because humans are the smartest organism on Earth, despite what the youth of today might have you believe. But anyway,
Just hiding its
um,
potential for another generation.
that or they're at their potential and they really just are that stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, like it's probably like worth to say that maybe with like every generation of like people that will actually like try to strive and learn these things, the brain like full on evolves, like not like physically, but like
Pokemon
maybe.
evolving.
I mean, that's more physical. Like I'm talking like maybe like it evolves in a way that allows you to like remember specific like bits of data more, or like maybe allows you to like since the brain is can control literally everything, maybe allows someone to use their like motor functions better or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it could be very well an evolutionary trait just to have like a good solid brain in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's time to wrap. What did you
Yep.
say?
Gavin,
Um,
unleash.
yeah.
John, I gotta. Instead of you unleashing your aggression, I'm gonna have other people unleash their aggression real quick here. What I need
Okay.
you to do, listener, I need you to unleash your aggression in a good way. Do you know how you're gonna do that aggression? You're gonna open up Spotify, super mad. You're gonna open up Spotify, super mad, and you're gonna unleash your aggression on that rate button for this podcast. You're
Make
gonna
sure
hit.
you hit.
You're gonna with full on intent. You're gonna get maximum retribution on that 5 stars.
Uh, Pretend that it wronged you
Yep.
because it did. Because it wasn't already on 5 stars by default.
Uh huh. It should have been on 5 stars from the start. I don't know why it wasn't like that. You know,
Yeah. Stupid button.
yeah, the stupid button is wrong, and you have to prove it right by doing that. Only in a good way, though, a healthy way. And then once you do it, then you're happy again. Everything
Yeah.
is perfect.
Nothing bad will ever happen. Hopefully.
Yep. And if
Well,
if anything ever bad happens, then just make another account and rate it 5 stars.
yeah,
That's a joke.
yeah.
Don't do that. We can get in trouble for that.
Yeah, big trouble. Anyway, yeah, this has been episode 15 of the Extra Casual podcast. This has been Gavin,
And Ashton.
and we will see you all later.
Yep.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye bye.